In East Asia, the ongoing geopolitical struggle for dominance continues to heat up as Taiwan, the island nation that has long resisted China's unification efforts, proposes a bold new defense strategy. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te has revealed plans to increase Taiwan's military spending by a staggering $40 billion over the next 8 years. This unprecedented increase in Taiwan's defense budget has raised alarms not only in China, but also among global powers as tensions continue to rise in the region. At the same time, China has made its opposition to Taiwan's growing military capabilities clear. Beijing has consistently insisted that Taiwan's sovereignty is a matter of national pride and security. As Taiwan moves forward with its defense buildup, Beijing's response is unyielding and direct. In a press conference held on November 26, 2025, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning reiterated China's position, firmly declaring that Taiwan's attempts to resist unification through military means would never succeed. This latest development comes amidst a period of escalating military tension in the Taiwan Strait. China has been increasingly vocal about its intentions regarding Taiwan, warning the international community that any move toward Taiwanese independence or resistance to unification would not be tolerated. For Taiwan, however, the decision to bolster its defense forces is a necessity in the face of growing Chinese assertiveness in the region. As both sides continue to escalate their military postures, the international community watches closely, wondering how this high-stakes situation will unfold. The press conference, led by Mao Ning, came just days after Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's announcement of the defense spending increase. Lai's proposal to boost Taiwan's military budget by $40 billion is being hailed as an important step toward ensuring the island's security against the looming threat from Beijing. Taiwan's defense strategy aims to enhance the island's military readiness, focusing on both short-term defensive capabilities and long-term investments in military infrastructure. For Taiwan, the $40 billion military spending increase marks the largest defense budget expansion in the island's history. As the world's most significant military power continues to exert pressure on Taiwan, Taiwan's leadership is prioritizing military modernization. The proposed funds will go toward upgrading the island's air defense systems, enhancing its naval capabilities, and strengthening its overall military infrastructure. This strategy is seen as an attempt to deter Chinese aggression and to reassure the Taiwanese people that their security is being taken seriously. In response to Taiwan's proposed military expansion, Mao Ning of China's Foreign Ministry made it clear that Beijing would not accept any form of resistance to its unification plans. Mao's statement emphasized that Taiwan's efforts to resist unification with China through military means would fail. Beijing views any efforts by Taiwan to strengthen its military as a direct challenge to its sovereignty. Mao Ning's words were firm, reflecting the deep frustration that Beijing feels toward Taiwan's growing defense capabilities and its alignment with the West. China's position of opposing official and even military ties between the United States and Taiwan is consistent, Mao Ning declared. This statement underscores China's long-standing opposition to any form of military cooperation between the United States and Taiwan. In recent years, Taiwan has strengthened its ties with the US through arms deals and joint military training exercises. For Beijing, these growing ties with the US are a significant provocation and a direct challenge to China's influence in the region. Moreover, Mao Ning reinforced China's belief that Taiwan's attempts to resist unification would not succeed. She emphasized that Taiwan's attempts to seek independence through military means would ultimately fail, reiterating Beijing's firm stance on its territorial claims over Taiwan. China's response to Taiwan's military spending increase should not be seen in isolation. It is part of a larger pattern of Beijing's increasingly assertive behavior in the region. China has been ramping up its military presence in the Taiwan Strait for years, conducting regular military drills and deploying assets in close proximity to Taiwan's borders. These actions are part of China's strategy to assert its control over Taiwan and to prepare for any possible military conflict should Taiwan attempt to declare independence or resist unification. The US, Taiwan's primary ally, has long supported Taiwan's right to self-defense. Despite not officially recognizing Taiwan as a sovereign state, the United States continues to provide Taiwan with arms and military support, ensuring the island is capable of defending itself against potential aggression from China. The US has repeatedly assured Taiwan of its commitment to security in the face of Chinese threats. However, Beijing views the US military support for Taiwan as a direct provocation. For China, the US presence in Taiwan is not just a matter of military assistance, it is a challenge to China's broader regional ambitions. The growing US-Taiwan military relationship represents a significant shift in the balance of power in East Asia, and China's response has been one of increasing hostility. Mao Ning's statements reaffirm Beijing's long-standing opposition to the US military's involvement with Taiwan and its broader policy of non-recognition of Taiwanese independence. Yet Taiwan's decision to bolster its defences is not solely about resisting Chinese pressure. It is also about protecting its sovereignty and maintaining its place in the international order. Taiwan's government, led by President Lai, views its sovereignty as non-negotiable. As the island democracy faces continued pressure from Beijing, its leaders are determined to ensure that Taiwan remains free from external interference. While Taiwan's defense spending proposal is being framed as a deterrent against Chinese aggression, it also has broader implications for regional security. The Taiwan Strait is one of the world's most heavily militarized areas, and the growing military buildup on both sides is raising concerns about the potential for conflict. As both China and Taiwan continue to increase their military capabilities, the risk of an accidental confrontation or miscalculation becomes more pronounced. China's response to Taiwan's defense spending is part of its broader strategy of asserting dominance over the region. Beijing's military expansion is not limited to the Taiwan Strait. China has been increasing its presence in the South China Sea, building artificial islands and asserting control over disputed territories. This expansionist agenda has drawn criticism from neighbouring countries and the international community, particularly the United States, which has conducted freedom of navigation operations in the region to challenge China's territorial claims. In her statement, Mao Ning also addressed a separate diplomatic issue involving the arrest of a Chinese CEO in Kyrgyzstan. The arrest has caused tensions between China and Kyrgyzstan, highlighting the complexities of managing Chinese businesses and citizens abroad. Beijing has called for Kyrgyz authorities to enforce the law justly and protect the rights of Chinese nationals. This issue is a reminder that China is not only focused on Taiwan, but also on safeguarding its economic interests and protecting Chinese citizens and enterprises operating overseas. For Taiwan, the decision to strengthen its military is a matter of survival. The island has been under constant pressure from China, which views Taiwan as a renegade province that must eventually be brought under its control. Taiwan's leaders understand that they must continue to modernize their military in order to defend themselves against a potential invasion from China. The increase in military spending is part of a broader strategy to enhance Taiwan's defense capabilities, making it more difficult for China to achieve its goal of unification through military means. In response, China has made it clear that it will not accept Taiwan's increased military buildup. Mao Ning's remarks underscore Beijing's determination to prevent any further strengthening of Taiwan's military and its resistance to Chinese unification efforts. For China, the question of Taiwan is not just a territorial dispute, it is a matter of national pride and sovereignty. The Chinese government sees Taiwan as an inseparable part of the country, and it has repeatedly stated that it will take all necessary measures to prevent Taiwan from pursuing independence. The question of Taiwan's future is one of the most pressing issues in international relations today. Taiwan, with its democratic values and thriving economy, stands in stark contrast to China's authoritarian regime. For many, Taiwan represents the success of democratic ideals in the face of an oppressive neighbour. For China, Taiwan is a symbol of territorial integrity and national unity, and the government is determined to bring the island under its control by force if necessary. As tensions rise between China and Taiwan, the world watches closely. The question of whether Taiwan will be able to maintain its sovereignty or whether it will eventually be forced to submit to Beijing's demands remains uncertain. Taiwan's military buildup is a clear sign that the island is not willing to go down without a fight. But as both sides continue to increase their military strength, the risk of conflict grows ever more likely. In the coming years, Taiwan's military buildup will be a critical factor in determining the island's future as the US continues to provide support, and as Taiwan strengthens its defences, China will likely continue its pressure campaign, using both military and diplomatic means to assert its claims. The stakes are high, and the outcome of this ongoing standoff will shape the future of East Asia for generations to come. As the situation in Taiwan continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher. With the balance of power in the Taiwan Strait hanging in the balance, both China and Taiwan are preparing for a future that could see the region plunged into conflict or perhaps a tense but fragile peace. Only time will tell how this critical issue will play out on the global stage.